Cowboy. And real quickly, because I feel like y'all have been seeing this tank too much, all my videos now are somehow based upon this tank. Real quickly, I just want to give an update. The $13 at Aquatic Furries, well, she bought a lot more worth of shirts, but I did $13 from Teespring, so $13 that I'm getting, that's going to be, I'll get that money in a week, since I just, set it up, so it's now processing. But I no doubt I'm getting rid of these two. I mean, they're really giving that female beta a beating, and even though sure I could try all these things, all in all, I could, even though yeah, half moons, a lot more people would want half moons, but to me, I just think wherever she is, I just saw her, but wherever my blue female veiltail beta is, personally, I love her dark, deep blue, and to me, she's the same breed as Flounder, and I mean, I love that little beta, and, you know, even though, sure, half moons, one of the prettiest betas, to me, right now I'm preferring the veiltail, just because not only sentimental values, but not only do I just love that little fish, but also, she's pretty to me, and I just can't wait to see what she'll grow up to be. So what I'm going to do, I'm hoping that'll, I may have said this in an earlier video, I don't know, but I'm hoping that'll get 5 each from these from my local fish store. Most time, like these two were just from Petco or PetSmart, but the last thing I would want to do is give them to Petco or PetSmart, not only have them have a bad life again, even if they'd accept them, but also I did like $5 when I give them to my local fish store. So I'm going to call them in a little while to make sure they have room for them. But yeah, and then so the $13 added on to hopefully like $10 between those two, $23. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. It's definitely some fish, that's for sure. But maybe another Cory for him. So maybe another Cory for Cory. Oh, I love that little guy to death. Dun, dun, dun. He's so fat. But, so yeah, maybe did another Cory for Cory. Maybe I'll did a stool of something in here. Like the stool, like 5 neon tetras or something like that. I don't 100% know. Because you can't 100% know that they're going to have fish like that you're planning on, like the Corydoras. When I bought him from my local fish store, the exact same place, when I bought him a year ago, honestly, they only had 2. And one was just, I'm pretty sure not just, but pretty sure it was a stir-by Cory. And this is just, not just, but this is the albino Cory. And I had a store-by Cory before, as my first Corydoras. But all of a sudden, he just died out on me for no reason. I mean, I was a newbie. I was like a couple of weeks into the hobby. I was dumb. I was new, like I just said. And, well, I was totally overstocked. And this is that thing. So, yeah, guys. Maybe did another one. But no shrimp unless they're like big old Amano shrimp. I don't know if Amanos are big. They may be. I'm not a shrimp expert. Maybe bamboos are big. I don't even know. Honestly, maybe someday I'll be all big into shrimp, but to me, the fish are what I truly care about. No offense to y'all who think shrimp are better than fish, and just like I like plants, but I would suffice. Well, I forgot what I was saying before that, but I know what I was saying. Well, I don't know exactly where I left off, but I know what I was saying. So, just like to y'all who think plants are better than fish, to me, I think the plants are complements, and I like having live plants, but I don't think they're everything. I think if there's one thing I strive for in an aquarium, it's having fish, right? I mean, the plants are nice, the shrimp are nice, and they are live beans. Saying like they are live beans. So I mean, I would still, to me, I think I value shrimp higher than even plants. Nevertheless, fish are my number one. Then it's like shrimp and inverts and snail. I don't know if I would say inverts, but snails, things like that. Crustaceans, I don't care. And then plants. And I love plants and I love to have plants in an aquarium, but it's not everything to me in an aquarium. You know what I mean? So yeah, guys. But like I said, like I was trying to say, that's not the whole topic of the video. So let's move on. Hey, y'all. So I told you this video wasn't about just the 15 gallon. No. This video is my thoughts for the most part. So my thoughts on really testing tits. This is the testing tit I have. But like people like Aquarium Co-op. I think Aquarium Co-op has so much right information. He's awesome. Love it. His channel, love his business, all that stuff. I've ordered from him a couple times. But I did it. I like the convenience of the strip test tits. I like their convenience, how quick they are, how easy they are. They're not complicated. Theoretically, if you were to swallow this stuff, you'd die. But then again, unless you're a 2-year-old, I doubt you're going to do that. And for the most part, probably the majority of my viewers are adults. So, unless you're drunk while handling this equipment, which hopefully you aren't, you should be perfectly fine handling this test it. So, to me, the benefits of this is 800 tests. Do you see that right there? Alright. I bought the 26 test tit for $16 at Petco when I was a newbie in the hobby. So, I paid $16 for 26 test tits. It's pretty much just like 16 for $1. So literally, you might as well buy a little strip and store for $1. You know what I mean? Sure, it's cheaper than that, but it's something like 75 cents a piece. Something like that. Probably much less. But this, 800 tests, $26, right? You can't compare. And to me, this is, I think, way more accurate. A lot of people say, yeah, they have about the same accuracy, but to me, when you're mixing chemicals and it's more of a science thing. When you're doing all that compared to seeing color, I get it. Yeah. Who knows? But to me, I also trust API way more than I do brands like Tetra. Even though Tetra does have some awesome things, but then they also have some terrible things. So to me, this really is better than the other things. Like this test kit, Amazon Prime. Here, let me just open it up. But Amazon Prime, $26. And all fish keepers should have Amazon Prime, and if you don't, I don't know where you've been. You still read the identity. Honestly, I don't really think kids should be messing around with this unless they're mature. And I am mature, and it's not like I'm gonna go drinking this stuff. Because that would be really, really dumb. Renzi, you can die if you're done with this thing. Yeah. That's just life. There's certain things you gotta deal with, and, this is a great test it. One of the hazards is, if you falsely use this, you can die. Or the majority, if you just had a tiny amount, you may not die, but I'm not gonna read that to you. Well, actually, harmful is blah, 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 but that's not a terrible thing. That's still pretty bad, but then, that one's not really even dangerous. I wouldn't recommend drinking this, but I don't think it's necessarily that bad. Alright, so here's that. Severe skin burns and eye damage. But it's not actually that bad if you swallow it. Like, literally swallow it. Rinse mouth. You know? It's not that bad. I mean, I would never drink this stuff. I would not be that dumb. But nevertheless, if you swallow it, you may not die. If you swallow a lot and you're just dumb, yeah, you may die. But like, if swallowed, rinse mouth. So if you accidentally dip the stuff in your mouth, you could not die. There's like one in here that's like pretty bad. There. I mean, it's suspected of causing genetic defect. That's more if like you're pregnant and you're using this. Or protective. Like, I don't do that. Because I'm not dumb while I'm using this stuff. Like, I don't use protective gloves, protective clothes, eye protection, face protection. I mean, to me, that's just kind of idiotic. Yeah, if you have a 5-year-old doing this, yeah, I would recommend. Even then, I wouldn't recommend the 5-year-old doing this. But honestly, I mean, unless you are very irresponsible with this stuff, you'll be perfectly fine. Because, I mean, most times you're not just dripping it right in front of your mouth or just sniffing the bottle, you know? So, yeah, I mean, there's kind of benefits and downsides to everything. Honestly, you just kind of gotta choose what's better for you. If you have, like, let's say fish tanks around the house and you have little kids running around, yeah, I would much rather. I think you should use just the test strips. But let's say you have your own fish room or, you know, and, like, doors too high for your little ones to get in, or you just have your own house dedicated for it, or your kids are smart enough not to drink that stuff, and they're not like toddlers, and they're smart enough, you know? I mean, if that's the case, they need to use it. Oh man, this is really annoying. Give me a second, y'all. Gotta set this back up. This is annoying. Boom. But, so yeah, y'all, though I really did like the simplicity of the strips, super simple maths, a minute to do, or like a minute 30 if you're doing all the reading stuff, which you have to do to make sure it's good. But overall, for $26, this is the setup. 800 tests. This is what you want for a fish room. Yeah, it takes a lot. Here's the contradicting part. The strips will take super fast, so if you have a lot of tanks, that's really good. Problem, they're super expensive. So if you want to maintain a budget, that's just not in your budget. But if you have a tight working schedule, yet you have a huge fish room, this is great for the huge fish room. It's amazing for it, but it takes a lot of time to do. And you only have 4 tubes at a time, so literally you can only do 1 tank at a time, unless you have multiple tits. So there's downsides and upsides to everything, guys. So you kind of just gotta see what fits you, and this may be it, this may totally not. But yeah, guys, that's me for this video. Comment, like, and subscribe. Keep praying for people in the path of Hurricane Irma. It is certainly not over. And, pray for DPK, David Benicor, Life with Pets. She evacuated, but, I'll just pray for her fish, and shrimp, and just tanks in general, and her house. I mean, that'd be devastating if everything was lost. I'm pretty sure Big J lives there, not sure, but just pray for everyone there. Anyone you may know, even people you don't know, you've never met. Just pray for them. So yeah, guys, that will conclude today's video. Make sure to tune in tomorrow's, for tomorrow's video. Forgetting what I'm about to say. Alright, so, please check out my merch and just tack items on my Teespring. It'll be very much appreciated, since all the money that I made from that goes directly to, well, goes right back to my fish. So, I mean, but I don't want it to be like, oh yeah, we're giving, like, I don't want it to be like, you guys give me so much money where you guys can't spend, like, you know, a lot of y'all have fish games to do, so it's, you know, I don't want to rob y'all, but nevertheless, it's your money, do what you want with it. If you don't want to buy my shirts, that's fine, that's perfectly fine, I don't care. You will dish out it if you do, though, but I, again, don't care. Appreciate it, but don't need, I mean, it's expensive and would be appreciated, but it's not like a life or death thing, you know? So yeah, guys, God bless, see you tomorrow, and, cowboy out. Trouble am I knocking down, you to lawsuit, no ways we found. Snow